96,000. 96,000. Absolutely insane. You guys are absolutely insane. We are less than 4,000 subscribers from finally hitting that 100,000 subscriber mark. And then we are going to have the biggest celebration, the biggest party, the biggest giveaway. We got 3 vintage booster boxes. 100 winners, 100 packs are going to be opened live right here on this channel with all the hits going to CGC for free to be graded with a special commemorative 100K celebration logo on the top. It's going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait to give all that stuff away. There's going to be giveaways literally the entire time throughout the chat. So I'm really, really excited. We just got to get there. We're so close. Thank you so much for 96,000. If you enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, share the channel, all those things. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're giving more stuff away too. We hit 95,000 last week, so we're giving away an Evolutions booster box. If you want to win that, go watch the video that I posted last Friday and then come back tomorrow to see if you won, and then we'll do the 96,000 subscriber giveaway. And we're going to keep doing that every 1,000 subscribers until we hit 100K. It's been such a ride. The journey has been so fun. So thank you so much for all of it. Pokemon is such an interesting market to follow, and I love following the Pokemon market. Now, I don't invest a whole lot of money in Pokemon cards. Like, I have a business, and the business is very important to me, so I run the Card Coliseum with my good friend and business partner, Papa Blastoise, and we really stick to margin. So I've talked about businesses a lot before on this channel, and I'll continue to talk about opening up your own online LGS, your own store, and really focusing on margins. I don't buy stuff to hold long-term. When I talk about some of these markets, it's because it's really interesting to me to watch what happens. But a lot of times, some of the cards I talk about, I don't have any of those cards. I don't have a whole lot. Like Sun and Moon alternate arts have absolutely blown up in price. I have like maybe 2 or 3 of those in my collection. I don't have a whole lot of those stuff. It's just very, very fascinating to me, everything that happens in the Pokemon market. And one of the rarities that is very interesting to me is the secret rare. The secret rare item card, those gold trainer cards that you pull out of booster boxes. And why it's interesting to me is because Pokemon is kind of different from other card games, especially from like trading or collectible card games like baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards. They focus a lot on rarities. You talk about the 1 of 1, the numbering system, the patch, the auto. I don't know a whole lot about sports cards collecting anymore. I used to a lot more when I was younger, and I collected those cards a lot. But the rarity is really what drives up price. With Pokemon, it's not necessarily the case. Secret rares are actually really, really rare, way more rare than an alternate art. But the artwork is just so different. The artwork really sets apart the card in Pokemon. So a card like the Umbreon VMAX, which sells for over $500, is people are more interested in that because of the artwork, you know, reaching for the moon. It's just a beautiful, beautiful card that they're not paying as close of attention to the secret rare Cresselia that's in the same set, you know, that doesn't have that amazing artwork, but actually is a little bit more difficult to pull based on pull rate. So when we look at some of these secret rare item cards that we're going to be looking at in this video, to see some of them that are still relatively cheap, and we're not covering the cheap ones today, it's very interesting to see. So you'll have to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. I'm going to stop rambling and start actually talking about what the video is. And these secret rare item cards have absolutely exploded in price over the past 3 months, and we're going over about 15 of them today. And I kind of want to give some insight as to why it's happening, but there's some of them it's baffling. You don't actually know why it's happening. So we're going to start out with this escape rope here. So this is from Burning Shadows, I think this is from Burning Shadows. This is from the Sun and Moon block. This is escape rope right here. You can see it dropped down in the end of January and it hit a 3-month low of $40.77. And since then, it's gone up 20%. You might say, Danny, well, 20%, well, that's a lot of gains. That's not crazy. But if you look at the actual listing on TCG Player and you see the lowest near mint copy is $80, that means that this market price is poised to be really high, really soon. So 48.62 is what the current market price is, which is 20% higher than what it's been for a very long time. So the 40.77, that was a 3-month low at the end of January. It's just kind of ballooned in price, and now the lowest available one is $80. Now, I don't think people are actually going to pay $80 for an escape rope, but I understand that it is going to be a staple moving forward in some of the competitive formats moving forward, a good way to switch out your active Pokemon, force your opponent to switch out their active Pokemon. So it is going to have some validity in competitive Pokemon, but it's very crazy to see the lowest near mint copy as an $80 card on TCG Player. This card just continues to just grow and grow in price. The next one is Ultra Ball. Not as huge of an actual price difference, but percentage-wise, really trending in the upward direction. You can see in the middle of January, it was down to a 3-month low of $16.82. It's had some peaks and valleys ever since then. Went up a little bit, down a little bit at the beginning of February, went up a little bit, down a little bit at the end of February. Now it's gone up a little bit as we move forward in competitive play, with Ultra Ball continuing to be a staple in competitive play. This is a 4 of in just about every deck because it is necessary for you to discard, and it's also necessary for you to be able to search out Pokemon to add consistency to your deck. So Ultra Ball has always been a staple as long as it's been in format. Now, we've had 3 different printings of the gold Ultra Ball, with this one being the cheapest one, the second cheapest one being the Sun and Moon base one, and then the third cheapest one being the Plasma one, which is over $200 for a near mint copy. But Ultra Ball being that staple, continuing to grow in price here at $21.01 currently, just off of a 3-month high of $21.54. But you're looking at like 40% growth over the past few months. Next one that we're going to look at is Nest Ball. And as soon as the Pokemon Company announced the reprint of Nest Ball, that's when things really shot up. So this was like a $6, $7, $8 secret rare, and things shot up like crazy all the way to about $30. A lot of people thought, okay, well, it's going to kind of stay consistent here. It's going to go down a little bit. Nobody's going to pay over $30 for a Nest Ball, but it's continuing to climb. You can see at the end of December, it did go up to about $40, $41, and then did start diving down a little bit up until the beginning of February, and then it hit close to that 3-month low of $36.79. It got back down to about $37, $38, and then really just started taking off again. And if you look at where it's sitting now, I mean, it's up about $9 over the past 3 months. So it's up about 30% over the past 3 months, sitting at $45.25 currently. We're not even at the rotation yet. We're not even at the new format yet. That won't actually be happening for a couple weeks yet. Nest Ball already showing up in some of those decks that we were looking at a couple weeks ago. In Japan, doing well in tournaments. Nest Ball continuing to climb the ladder. Fog Crystal, another one that is moving in the upward direction. You can see this is from Chilling Reign. So at the end of December in 2022, this was at $8.85. I definitely have the high price wrong. It was not at $48.62. I just didn't change that. $15.26 is where it currently is. That is a 3-month high for this specific card. You can see a peak there of about $14 in the middle of January and then drop right back down. So maybe just a random sale here or there when the market was a little bit thin on supply on inventory, and then kind of started growing consistently over the next couple months, sitting at $15.26 currently. It's almost doubled in price over the past 3 months. The next one that we're going to look at is the Single Strike Energy. We did talk about this recently. This is from Battle Styles, with Single Strike decks starting to make some noise in the new format, which, like I said, hasn't even been hit yet. It's not going to be legal for a few weeks yet. So we've got Charlotte Regionals this upcoming weekend. Next weekend, we've got Fort Wayne Regionals, which I hope to see many of you at. Still going to be the old format. Then after that, we're going to start getting into the new format, but Single Strike Energy already putting in work. You can see very consistent right around that $4 mark up until the beginning of February, and then it really started taking off like a rocket. It was at $4.05 as a 3-month low before shooting up all the way to $13.76 as a 3-month high, and now it's sitting at $13.70, so just off of that 3-month high. But basically, you're looking at 200% of a price increase. It's tripled in price over the past 3 months. Absolutely insane. Earn a Vitality kind of going the same direction, really blowing up over the past few weeks here. So for a long time, it was about a $4 secret rare. Do you have any Earn of Vitalities kind of sitting around? Because that card has absolutely exploded in price. At the end of December, it was sitting at a 3-month low of $4.03. Very consistently stayed at that point all the way till the end of February. You can see it got as high as about $5 there, and then just took off like crazy, sitting at $19.27 currently. So it's gained over $15. So about 400% of growth over just the past month. month. Absolutely insane to see Urn of Vitality taking off like crazy. Then we've got Pokegear 3.0. Now this is a very good card in the GLC format, which we don't know what they're going to be doing with GLC moving forward. We won't get that information until the new season approaches, but GLC definitely a thing, and it's something that happens at a lot of regional events as a couple of side events. Usually there's a side event that happens on Friday and then another one that happens on Sunday. Wouldn't surprise me if Pokemon introduced GLC as kind of an official format, maybe next year, maybe the season after that, but GLC a very, very fan favorite format. I don't even know if my English is correct there. A fan favorite format by many, many people. You can see at the beginning of January, it did hit $9.21. It's almost doubled in price since then, sitting at $17.35 currently. That is a 3-month high for this card. This is a secret rare from the Unbroken Bond set. Then we've got Energy Recycler, which we also talked about a couple weeks ago. This one took off absolutely crazy. This one is over doubled in price, and this one was already a little bit pricey to begin with at the end of December. It was at $28, $27.97 as a 3-month low, and then just really took off, real consistent growth over the next 3 months, and then over the last couple weeks here, it's shot up even more, sitting at $63.79 currently. So that's a 3-month high for that Energy Recycler. Then we've got Viridian Force, very interesting. Hidden Fates, a lot of cards from Hidden Fates really starting to climb up in price. This card in specific was sitting at $20.77 at the end of December, so that was a 3-month low, and just slow growth, organic growth it seems, over the next 3 months. Not a whole lot of room in the format for Viridian Force because it's not a legal card except in Expanded or in GLC, but it's not a card that's going to get played a whole lot in either of those formats unless you're playing a deck that really specializes in needing that Viridian Force. So the only thing that we can really think of is that this is just kind of natural growth for Viridian Force, and you can see it's jumped up 20% over the last 3 months. And we've got Trainer's Mail. This is a card that would be somewhat useful in the GLC format, definitely useful in a lot of Expanded decks if Expanded was really a thing. Very consistent for the first couple months of 2023. You can see at the end of December, it was right around a 3-month low of $8.77 all the way up until the beginning of February, and then really kind of took off. It went from $8.70 then up over 20%. Basically, overnight, you can see in the middle of February, it jumped up to about $10 and then continued to grow a little bit from there. A couple weeks ago, it hit a 3-month high of $10.71. It's backed off a little bit, still sitting at $10.56 currently, so much closer to its 3-month high than its 3-month low. You can see this rare candy right here has taken off like crazy. The lowest one available right now on TCG Player was like $100, so that might have been replaced, but very, very expensive. Almost doubled in price over the past couple months here. In December, it was flatlining. It was very consistent, right around that $45 mark. You can see it hit a 3-month low of $46.23, then stayed very consistent at that point all the way up until the beginning of February, and then started taking off like crazy. Now, Rare Candy has been reprinted since then during the Sun and Moon block, but you can see, look at how high it has climbed over the last 3 months. Just at the beginning of February, it really started taking off, sitting at $72.70 currently, so that's a 3-month high for Rare Candy. Max Potion also kind of doing the same thing, albeit a lot slower. $25.56 is where it was at the end of December. It's gained about 20% since then. Much slower sales because it is a little bit older of a card, also not as popular of a card in some of those older formats that we were talking about, but you can see just slow growth over the last 3 months. Like I said, about 20%, sitting at $29.93 currently. Even some of the secret rare energy cards have done extremely well. So this is the secret rare Lightning Energy. This is from Evolving Skies. You can see at the end of December, this was at a 3-month low of $12.56, then really started taking off. Lightning definitely making a little bit of noise in competitive play with Vikavolt, with the Raikou V, with the Regieleki, doing a little bit of damage, but you can see really just starting to grow more and more, sitting at $15.94 currently. That's a 3-month high for this card. Then we've got Pokemon Catcher, the secret rare from Dark Explorers, one of my favorite sets of all time, kind of like Max Potion, a card that doesn't move a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of room for it in the current formats just because it's not a card that's really legal for play anymore. The text has been changed, so you're not going to be able to use this version of Pokemon Catcher. You kind of have to do a coin flip first. Used to be you could just play this card and your opponent would basically have a Lysander effect or a Boss's Order effect, which you now need to use a supporter for instead of an item card, which you could have used multiple times on a turn. But at the end of September, we're looking at 6 months of data for this one because the 3-month graph was kind of messed up, but it was at 62.87 at the end of September, and then really just started climbing and climbing and climbing. You can see it's sitting at 109.90 currently. That's a 6-month high for that card. Then we've got Rescue Stretcher. This one is from Burning Shadows as well, I believe, at the end of December. This was at a 3-month low of $13.79. This would also be a card that you would use in expanded or maybe in the GLC format, but this is really good when you can use it in bunches. Maybe you can have 4 of them in your deck, something like that, whereas GLC you would only be able to use 1 of them in your deck. But at the end of December, it was at a 3-month low of $13.79, and then consistent growth, real slow growth up until the middle of February, and then kind of took off a lot faster. You can see it's gone up about 30% over the last 3 months, sitting at $17.36 currently. So this is roughly 15 different secret rares that really have exploded in price over the past 3 months, all of them going up at least 20%, which is absolutely insane because typically a lot of these gold cards don't really see a whole lot of movement. For the most part, it's real slow growth that you might see, especially from some of the older ones, because a lot of people like using some of these secret rare item cards in decks, and once decks rotate out and a new season comes upon us, like what we're going to be experiencing in a couple weeks here with rotation, they kind of start dropping in price. So you might see some of those quick balls and some of those cards. You can already see it with Ordinary Rod and some of those Cape of Toughness, some of those secret rare cards, trainer cards that were a little bit more expensive, starting to go down in price because they're not being utilized as much in decks, and they won't be moving forward because they're rotating out. But very interesting to see these 15 in specific really starting to take off. So food for thought. Just let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video, share the video if you wouldn't mind. If you appreciate the content, guys, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate you. Come back tomorrow. We're going to give away that Evolutions booster box and then start our 96,000 subscriber giveaway. Thanks, guys, so much for everything. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Until then, peace.